One day when I was in the Phnom Penh airport, Pochentong airport, I walked into the bookstore and I bought a book. And then after I pay, I walked out and a person come to me and said, "You were just wasting your time." I said, "Why?" He said, "Teenage don't have brain." The book that I bought was this one. It's called The Teenage Brain. And so it is understandable why people, parents, believe that teenage don't have brain. It is because the behavior is very unpredictable, sometimes very confusing, so it makes parents mad, you know. When they were little, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, the behavior is quite predictable. But when they grow about 16, 17, 18, they become erratic. They become, some of the behavior doesn't make sense. If you feel like that, you are not actually alone. Most parents feel the same way. So I really recommend this book. It's by Frances Jensen, a doctor. And he wrote this using the experience she had with her children. So this book will tell you in detail how the teenage brain develop. And because we don't have time to discuss all of this, let me just discuss with you some of the characteristics of teenagers. What we do come from our brain, of course. So the teenage brain is developing very, very fast. It's faster than the teenage itself can understand and manage. Actually, the human brain do not become mature until they are 25 years old. So when you're 16, 17, you are just premature, the brain. What happened is the emotional center of the brain is developing very fast. So, but the front part of the brain, that part of the brain that make good decision, understand between right and wrong, that is not fully developed. So this is account why why teenagers behave rather crazily, right? So let's just look at some of the character of the teenagers. One is they're very emotional. They're very impulsive. They want to do something, they do it. Often they take unnecessary risks because that part of the brain that make decision, you know, should I do this or should I not? That's not fully developed yet. So sometimes they want to do something, they do it. And this is why many teenagers get involved with drugs, you know, and drink alcohol before they're ready for it. I mean, nobody is ever ready for drugs, but alcohol probably require a more mature brain, because when the ability to drive, motorcycle and alcohol mixed together, that can become disastrous. The other thing is, like I said earlier, teenagers tend to become a little bit irresponsible. One of the major characteristics of teenagers is that they start to interested in love. I mean, love between girlfriend and boyfriend and things like that. So at this age, the brain is starting to become developed. They develop to prepare themselves for the future when they become husband and wife, parents, so, and having children. So they start thinking about sex. And this in itself is not really bad. It's a natural thing. So in fact, some experts told us that a teenager probably think about sex once every 3 minutes. For teenagers to think about sex is actually quite normal, quite necessary. Another characteristic is then to become lonely. Their body developing faster and uncoordinated. If you ever watch a movie, you know, the Harry Potter, in the first few episodes of Harry Potter, they really look cute and beautiful almost. But the later one, they're no longer cute. In fact, the boys, the hand is almost touch the floor. They look almost like a spider monkey, you know. And the girl no longer cute. And when teenagers look at themselves in the mirror and compare themselves with what they see in the movie, a movie star and models, they become disappointed with themselves and they develop low self-image. So they tend to hate themselves a lot. They want to be somebody else, and that's actually quite normal. And the other thing, of course, when they start to preoccupied with sex and things like that, usually their academic performance, their school performance drop. And so another characteristic of teenagers, they tend to be lonely sometimes. They want to be with friends. They have a great time with friends, but when they're alone, they feel lonely, right? And so sometimes they need privacy of their own room. So how can we deal with our teenage children so that they grow up strong and happy? Because part of the brain that make good decision is not yet fully developed, it is the role of a parent to become that part of the brain. So we have to tell our children, look, your brain is not fully developed, so I'm going to help you. I'm going to be part of that brain that help you to make decision, good decision. And if you do it in a friendly and joking way, they accept that. So sometimes when you want to correct the behavior of our teenage children, is that, look, let me just for 5 minutes play the part of the front part of your brain. Okay? And they said, then we can discuss things openly about sex and about drugs and about all kinds of things. One characteristic of the front part of the brain, they are not judgmental. The front part of the brain did not say, look, you are stupid, you are irresponsible. The front part of the brain said, let's look at this situation. Let's decide how to make a good decision based on that. So if we can do that with our children, they actually can grow naturally, the way they should be. And then eventually their brain fully develop when they are 25, 24 years old. And then by that time, if we do our job correctly, we can let them go and be by themselves as a great woman and man. Thank you very much.